Welcome back to Yin Yoga, Restorative Yoga, and Gentle Movements. Let's just begin in a comfortable seat. So we started this week talking about the third niyama, which is in the second limb of the 8 limbs of yoga. If you'll remember, the niyamas are the personal practices that we do to align ourselves with our core being, our inner being. And this niyama is tapas, discipline, fire of discipline. So here's a little more from the same article I was citing yesterday by some Cushman. Tapas is heat. We need heat to purify, seal, and right our body-mind vessel, as she calls it. When we're sterilizing mason jars before canning food, you boil them. When you're trying to make yourself functioning cups and bowls out of clay, you fire them in a kiln. And when you're trying to straighten a bent piece of metal, you take a torch to it and bend it while it's hot. Heat is powerful. She cites a few of her teachers, Gary Crafso, who says that tapas is means through which we purify and transform ourselves. Tapas, which can be translated as austerities, is also linked to renunciation and deprivation. In depriving ourselves of something to which we are habituated, we resist acting in our habitual patterns. And this resistance creates a kind of internal heat that purifies, strengthens, and transforms us. Some of us might practice things like detoxifying the body through various kinds of cleanses or fasts or eliminating sugar, whatever it might be. That is a practice of tapas in the physical sense, but also mental. Pandit Rashmani writes, tapas is withstanding the pain caused by the pressure of the senses and our self-imposed resistance to that pressure. Until we reach the highest, there is a constant tug of war between the good and the pleasant, between our discrimination and our desires, between the forces of surrender and the forces of attachment. Cultivating the capacity to withstand this so-called pain and adhering to our resolution is tapas. So here are different angles to define it. And then lastly, Chip Hartranft wrote, tapas actualizes our commitment to know freedom by disentangling us from our attachments, snipping our tendrils one by one. Every time a distracting impulse is noted but not obeyed, the body-mind sees through and beyond it, gaining energy and inching closer to discriminating awareness. We talked about buddhi, right? That's mental witness that allows us to create a space between stimulus and response so that we can proceed with intention, proceed with a conscious yoga in action. And then finally, Summer wraps it up by saying that tapas is the heat that builds up inside us as we put forth effort toward increasing our capacity to stay with the discomfort of transformative change. As humans of habit, animals of habit, change can be something we might resist. So how do we bring tapas into the practice of being still? If many of us are used to going, not moving can be a practice of tapas in itself. Let's begin with the body here. As you situate your body in a way to uplift your spine, but at the same time root down to pelvis. Notice what falls into place in this physical aligning. Whatever it is that you notice first, your breath, a sensation in your body, the placement of your skull, its orientation. And so we begin by just pausing, paying more attention to what we've been carrying throughout this day so far, what's accumulated in our minds and our bodies. And I invite you to create some heat to your palms, just rubbing them together, using that friction to feel warmth between your palms. And as you're rubbing your palms still, take a few deep, grounding breaths. Big exhales to your mouth. Still rubbing the palms, one more deep breath. And then as you raise your arms overhead with arms straight, and just feel that electricity between your palms, the energy between. What is the intention for your practice tonight? Or perhaps, for whom or what are you dedicating your practice and its benefits? And together as we share practices, let's share in the vibration of Om, 3 chants. Take a deep breath in. Let's begin a breathing practice to dive our attention even deeper inward and into the breath. Nadi Shodhana, a balancing breath, alternate nostril breathing. So as you rest your left hand on your lap, you may like to bring your thumb and first finger to touch to help concentrate. And then with your right hand, stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring finger. As you breathe just through your nose, focus on breathing slowly but softly, almost like you have a little feather that you're trying to balance on your upper lip, and you don't want to breathe too hard that it blows away. And then you may want to close your eyes. Go off at your own pace when you feel ready to. You've adjusted to the pattern of the breathing that repeats. But let's begin together, sitting up tall, shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Clear it out gently through the nose. Then hold your breath out. Use your right thumb to cover your right nostril. Inhale slowly through your left. Hold your breath in. Use your last 2 fingers to cover left nostril. Exhale slowly through your right. Hold your breath out. Then inhale through right. Hold the breath. Cover right with thumb. Exhale through left. Hold it out. Inhale through left. Hold. Cover left. Exhale through right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Cover right. Exhale left. Hold. Inhale left. Hold. Cover left. Exhale right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Cover right. And exhale left. Hold the breath out. Then release both hands and just sit to breathe naturally and observe. Now let's continue with a warming Ujjayi pranayama, victorious breathing. So as you continue to breathe with the mouth closed, softly narrow the back of your throat to invite a gentle whispering sound as you sustain your breath equally in and out. And listening to that sound, let's crawl down onto hands and knees, all fours, beginning some movement to warm up the body. So as you set your hands on the ground, spinning out your hands so your fingertips face either the outer edges or the rear edge of your mat, give your inner wrists and forearms a stretch. Step your knees slightly behind your hips. And now as you inhale, draw your chest forward through your arms. Roll your shoulders back and look up into cow pose. As you exhale, draw your belly inward, dropping your head as you round your back into cat pose. Several more. Inhale, lengthen, chest forward, then up. Exhale, contract your belly to dome your back. So at your own pace of breath. A few more cycles of Vidalasana or cat-cow. And the next time you breathe out, relax to a neutral spine. Stack your hips directly over your knees, and then turn your palms to face down with your index fingers pointing forward. Now, you may choose to grab your blocks here and elevate your palms on blocks. It's just a matter of preference, see how it feels. Otherwise, you can keep your hands on the floor as we come into puppy dog pose or half downward dog. So the belly, you want it to firm slightly inward towards the spine so it's not just lax and falling. And then as you walk your hands forward, keep your arms straight. Rotate the outer sides of your upper arms towards the floor as you would do in downward dog to broaden across your shoulders. And then open your throat, lengthen the top of your head actively towards the ground between your thumbs as you draw your shoulders and hips back. Lengthen through the sides of your torso from your armpits to your outer hips, using your breath. Fill up the sides of your rib cage. Breathing into your chest, broaden your collarbones apart. Feel your facial muscles and relax the skin on your forehead. Relax your tongue and jaw. With your next few exhales, draw your lower belly inward, a little more lift towards the lower back. At the same time, lengthening your tailbone further back. Last 3 breaths here. And then begin to walk your hands closer to you so that you can lift back to hands and knees, all fours. You'll still want to grab your blocks here, perhaps even place them on their tallest height so that you can step your right foot forward outside of your right block, coming into a wider version of a lunge, keeping your back knee on the ground. So as you align the center of your right knee to the right middle toe facing straight ahead, both arms are inside of your right leg. Take a deep breath here. We're going to start some movement. Soften your shoulders down, broaden your chest. And now as you breathe out, keeping your right heel where it is, lift your right toes, flex the foot, and begin to scissor your right outer hip back while drawing your chest forward. So you're straightening the right leg to some degree and bowing inside of it. And let's keep going. Inhale, rebend your right knee. Set the sole of your right foot flat on the earth. Exhale, plug your right thigh bone further back, straightening the leg as you flex the foot and folds. Inhale, bends, lizard lunge. Exhale, straighten and folds. Half split. Inhale, bends. Exhale, straighten and fold. Keeping a slight lift of your navel towards your spine. Inhale, bends. Exhale, straighten and fold. Last 2 rounds. Breathe in, lunge. Breathe out, bowing in. One more, inhale. And exhale. And then from here, we're going to enter, single pigeon pose. So you may want to grab a blanket, a pillow. Perhaps you'll need it for some space filler between your right glute and the floor. Have your blocks alongside your hips here. Step your right foot towards the middle front of your mat. And then as you splay your right thigh open, you can start to slide your right heel closer to your left hip. Coming to sit, tuck your left toes behind you just for a moment to set up. And with your hands alongside your hips, lift your hips off the ground and further scissor your right hip back, your left hip forward until both frontal hip bones are evenly facing your front wall. And then you can decide if you'll need something to place right under your right glute so that your hips are balanced as you release your back toes. You may also want a pillow in front of you. You can give it a bear hug, or you can have your block or a stack of blocks to rest your forehead on. As you place your hands in front of you, take a deep breath and lift your chest. Exhaling, begin to fold forward. Take your time. We're going to be here for 3 minutes before we switch sides. Finding a version that you can sustain for 3 minutes where your body feels supported enough to begin unwinding within the stillness of this posture. Regulating your nervous system to find ease, to feel calm by intentionally lengthening and balancing your breath. So we talked about tapas in physical practice, like stepping out of our habits. If our habits are constant movement, finding stillness and being with the discomfort of change from our habits to something different. But much of tapas is in the mind, the willingness to persevere not forgetting the first limb of yoga, the quality of nonviolence, of kindness to self. So allow a few breaths to gently pressing your hands on the ground, lift your head, lift your torso. And gradually step your right knee behind you, coming back into that half downward facing dog for a few breaths where you stack your hips right above your knees. Keep your belly lifting towards the spine and extend your arms straight forward. Whether hands are on blocks or the floor, just about 3 breaths here in a more neutral position. Notice any difference you feel on your left and right sides. Then as you walk your hands closer to you, come back to hands and knees, and you may want to grab your blocks for side 2 as we enter the lunge. Maybe placing the blocks on their tallest height for easier access. Step your left foot forward just outside of your left block. And then stack your left knee right on top of the heel. Align the center of the knee with the middle toe facing forward. Sole of the foot flat on the ground. And then take a breath here as you open your chest, softening the shoulders down. Exhale, begin to straighten your left leg to whatever degree is possible right now, flexing your left toes off the ground, drawing your left hip back as you extend your chest forward to bow, inside of the leg. Then inhale, rebend your left knee, set the sole flat on the earth. Again, exhale, draw your left thigh bone back, some degree straighten the leg as you fold. Inhale, bend. Back to lizard lunge. Exhale, scissor left hip back, folding in half split. Breathe into a lunge. Breathe out, folding as you square your hips. Inhale, lunge. Notice the open space at your throat between chin and chest. Exhale, fold through both postures. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. 2 more cycles. Breathe in. Breathe out. Really creating some warmth in the hip joint before we sustain the posture. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. And then from here, return to the lunge, set your blocks alongside your hips, step your left foot towards the front and center of your mat. so that you can begin to splay open your left thigh, sliding left heel towards your right hip, and then straightening your right leg behind you. Tuck your toes of your right foot and lift your pelvis off the ground with your hands alongside your hips so that you can scissor your left hip further back. Invite your right hip to come forward, balanced with the left, and see if it might be more helpful to add a prop to support your left glute here. Perhaps you have another prop in front of you, like a stack of pillows that you want to bear hug, or a tower of blocks to rest your forehead on. As you place your hands in front of you, take a deep breath and open your chest, stretch the front of your spine. As you exhale, begin to bow forward, resting here for 3 minutes. You may have heard me or another teacher say in a yoga class that those postures that we resist, those poses or movements that we have aversions to, can be our greatest teachers. Same can be true in other matters of life. The things that we resist, can we build a certain curiosity around them, a loving, a caring curiosity, to see what they might be reflecting back to us. And I believe the perseverance or the courage to muster that up, to attempt to touch what seems untouchable, is the fire of tapas, the fire of transformation. Can you feel your lungs fully receiving your breath? Taking your time here to exit this posture, allow a few breaths, pressing your hands into the ground, lifting your head slowly. And then once more, let's pause for a few breaths in half downward facing dog, unless you prefer to take a full-on downward dog with your legs towards straight. Take your choice, just a few breaths. Drawing the hips up and back, extending the arms forward with a feeling of a flat back. And then as we come back down to sit, please find your strap or something like it. You may want to use one. And then as you come to sit, you may like to sit on a folded blanket as well if you're feeling any roundedness in your lower back. Preparing for Gopukasana. So extend your left leg forward. Take your right thigh and cross it over your left thigh as much as you can so that there's no space between your thighs. And you can see if your body wants to stay here or if bending the bottom knee is available where your two sitting bones can evenly ground, splaying the feet apart. If your knees feel sensitive, you can flex your feet gently. And then here's where you might use a strap. So with your right leg on top, as I'm mirroring you, raise your left hand, pulling the strap from it from behind. With your right hand, rotate your left forward, bend the elbow behind your skull, then reach your right hand underneath behind you to grab the other end of the strap. Then walk your hands as close together as you can. Here in the shoulder opening part of the pose, you may be able to clasp your fingers and release the strap. Press your two shoulder blades down your back ribs, seal your front ribs in towards your back body. And as you ground to your sitting bones, lift up through the center of your spine, opening your throat, parallel your chin to the floor. Lift through the back of your skull and take a deep in-breath. Now, if it's available to some degree, exhale, begin to hinge forward from your hips. Pause as you breathe in, rerouting your pelvis and re-lengthening your spine. As you breathe out, perhaps fold a little more using your belly slightly engaged to support and lengthen your lower back. Now you may want to have a block catch your forehead, even though your arms are behind you, or just hang free like I'm doing. We're going to be here for another 2 minutes before we switch sides. Cow pose. If you do have your bottom leg straight forward, make sure that you're flexing that foot of your straight leg. Give your hamstring some support as you're lengthening it. Imagine there's a string pulling your sternum forward as you lengthen the front and back of your torso evenly. Softening your shoulders away from your neck. Deep breaths. One more deep breath here. On your next breath in, slowly lifting from your chest, rise up. Release your arms, release your legs straight. And just take a moment to roll your shoulders forward as you breathe in, lift them up. Exhale, release the shoulders back and down. Keep going a few more times. At the same time, you want to circle your feet, rolling out your ankles, or any kind of organic movement in your arms and legs, your head. Let's set up for side 2. So start with your right leg straight ahead. Cross your left thigh as much as you can over the right. And notice if one side needs to be a different variation. You might be working with something different on this side. You can keep the bottom leg straight, the foot flexed, or bend the knee, display the feet wider apart, maybe flex them both. Then take the strap in your right hand if you're going to use it. Hang it behind you, rotate your right outer upper arm forward, bend the elbow behind your skull, reach your left hand underneath from behind, grab the other end of the strap, and walk your hands as close together as you can, maybe clasping them. Take a moment here, a few moments, to root down through your left and right sitting bones, to visualize, maybe with eyes closed, restacking your spine from the bottom up. Feel spaciousness throughout your neck as you broaden your chest and walk your 2 shoulder blades further down your ribs. Lengthen through the back of your skull. Take a deep breath in. And you might explore hinging from your hips, belly firming in towards the spine. Pause as you inhale to reground your hips some more and lengthen your spine, keeping your throat open. Exhale, maybe folding a little more. So remember that you can place props in front of you to catch your forehead, especially if you want to maintain a space between your belly and your legs for some reason. And I'm going to again set the timer here for 2 minutes. We're down to about 3 more deep breaths. And on your next inhale, leading from your chest, slowly lift your spine upright, releasing your arms, releasing your legs. Ooh, and this time, set your feet apart, wider than hips distance on the floor in front of you as you bend your knees, just as wide apart as your feet. You can have your hands behind your pelvis on the floor to keep your spine relatively upright. And we're just going to gently windshield wiper the thighs to the right, thighs to the left, breathing in one direction, breathing out the other. A few more cycles of breath. Find a comfortable seat for a moment as we give the neck a little love. Extend your left arm straight to the left, flexing your wrist like you're saying stop with your hand. And then use your right hand to gently guide your skull to drop towards your right shoulder. As you root down to your pelvis again, lift your spine from your hips, but soften the tops of your shoulders down. And you allow the left side of your jaw from the back of your left ear to your chin to soften. Feel the left side of your trapezius muscle from alongside your neck to your shoulder blade, across the top of your left shoulder to relax more deeply. Just 3 more breaths. Energize your left fingertips as they point up towards the sky. And exhale to release. Shake gently your left arm. And then let's extend the right arm out to its side, flexing at the wrist, fingertips pointing up. Use your left fingertips to gently guide your skull to drop towards your left ear. And can you feel energy rising up to your right fingertips as they point up towards the sky? Trace your attention from the back of your right ear along the right side of your jawline to your chin. You release any sort of rigidity that lies there. And then imagine your breath could cascade down the right side of your neck, into the top of your right shoulder, into the top of your right shoulder blade, releasing any tension you might be carrying there. Last 3 breaths. And as you release, give your right arm a gentle shake. Bending your elbows both apart. Cross your left elbow over the right. Either give yourself a tight hug, or hook your thumbs, or wrap your forearms and palms, and then send your 2 shoulder blades down your back as you lift up through the center of your spine to your crown. Align your elbow tips to the height of your shoulders while gently pressing your forearms forward and away from your face. Feel your shoulder blades broaden. Now picture the area across your upper back right between your scapula. Breathe into there. Massage it with ease. Softening the inner sides of your shoulder blades as you breathe out. As you use your imagination to feel your own mind-body connection, using your breath as a tool. Three more breaths here in eagle arms, Garudasana arms. On your next inhale, lift your elbows even higher than your shoulders. Spread your wings, open the arms, and bend your elbows apart to cross the opposite on top. Again, you can either give yourself a hug tightly, hook your thumbs, or wrap your forearms and palms. Sending both shoulder blades down your back, lift up through your spine, your crown. Align your elbow tips to the height of your shoulder bones and gently press your forearms forward away from your face. Send breath into your back body, specifically right between your shoulder blades. Soften that area each time you breathe out. Last 3 breaths here. Lifting your elbows a little higher, breathe in. Exhale, open your arms wide. Gently drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, slowly circle your head halfway through to one direction. And then exhale, completing that circle very gently, very slowly. Take another round, circling your head. And softly switch direction, 2 rounds. Coming back to center, I'd like to set us up for a heart expanding or chest opening posture to help further release the front of your shoulders. And you have the option of either having your legs in a hip opener if you need more of that, which is Baddha Konasana like this, soles of the feet together. You may also use blocks or any kind of props to support. Get into your quadriceps and come into Supta Virasana or Pine Pose, which is some variation of either sitting on your calves or having a block between your ankles as a stool to sit on, which is less bend in the knees. You can elevate that stool as much as you need. Make sure if you're taking some version of this pose that your toes are pointing back. You can feel that every toenail, especially the pinkies, are pressing into the ground. The feet are not turned out. This is to support your knees. If you're able to sit all the way to the floor between your ankles, moving the calves aside, you can do it this way as well. Just make sure your knees are not splaying apart wider than hips distance. Now the setup for the heart opener is to create, I'll start from the most supportive setup to the least supportive, so you can decide what feels good for you, is to create sort of a reclining chair. So you can use your 2 blocks or whatever you have stacked towards the rear end of that pillow to create an incline, a ramp, just like this. And then for a little space in your lower back, mid back area, you could cross a blanket like this. And then as you have your buttocks towards the bottom edge of that pillow, you could lean back. Let your palms turn up so the front of your shoulders can roll open. And here's one version. Now, if you want less support, a little more lift in the chest, you could eliminate one of those blocks that's under the rear edge of the pillow so that the pillow's lower. Or you could create an equal sign with just 2 blocks catching you from behind. That one block is going to land right underneath your shoulder blades, and the second block is going to catch the back of your skull. That's a bit much, a little too intense. You could raise the block that's under your head 1 level higher to its tallest height. And make sure that however you're situating your body, it feels sufficiently supported so that you can be still, you can focus on your breathing, yet you feel that you are challenging it in some way, that it's opening up. I'm going to set the timer here for 3 minutes. In the beginning of this posture, let's dive into 3-part breath work, Durga Pranayama, further relaxing the nervous system. So as you rest your arms down, palms face up, visualize your stomach. We're going to inhale there 1/3 of the breath in, then we'll hold the breath. Then visualize your side ribs, the sides of your rib cage. We'll inhale the second third there, and we'll hold the breath. Visualize the very top of your chest. The last third of the inhale will fill that area. We'll pause the breath a few seconds, before slowly exhaling everything out. We'll hold the breath at the bottom. That's one cycle. Now we'll breathe in through the nose, and you can decide whether to breathe out through the nose or through the mouth, whatever is more comfortable for you. So take a clearing breath before we start. Inhale deeply, side out through your mouth, then hold your breath out. Into your belly, inhale 1/3, pause. Into your side ribs, inhale 1/3, pause. Into your chest, inhale the last third. Hold your breath and relax your body further. Exhale everything slowly. Hold it out. Inhale 1/3 into the belly. Pause. Inhale into your side ribs. Pause. Inhale into your chest. Hold it in. Relax. Slowly empty your breath. Hold it out. Inhale into the belly. Pause. Inhale side ribs. Pause. Inhale chest. Pause. Exhale completely. Hold it out. Let's try one more together. Inhale belly. Pause. Inhale side ribs. Pause. Inhale chest. Hold. Exhale completely. Hold it out. Try at least one more cycle on your own of 3-part breathing. All right, that 3 minutes went fast. You're gonna slowly begin to lift the torso. You can press your hands alongside you. Take your time coming up. We'll extend the legs forward when you arrive sitting. Take a moment to gently shake out your legs, maybe massage them, or even gently place your palms on your knees, give them some circular massage. Roll out your ankles. We're gonna set up in either a legs up the wall, Viparita Karani, if you have a wall available that you could lie with your glutes flush against. You can even elevate your sacrum on a block or pillow with your legs up the wall. Or if you have a chair, couch, bed, you can elevate your legs on top of. I'm gonna make a little couch, and you could do the same if you like, with 2 blocks and pillow across like a bridge, and then another pillow on top of that, and then even a blanket if you like. You can elevate, or you can place that blanket on top of your pelvis and belly if you want some grounding support, the weight of the blanket. And if you're making a makeshift couch like I am, you may want to make sure that it's the meatiest part of your calves that are resting on that surface. And then pelvis can be on the ground completely. You're going to be in this inversion for at least 2 minutes unless you decide to stay here for Shavasana. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for 2 minutes. If your arms are completely free, you might find it soothing to rest your palms face down on top of your abdomen. Take some abdominal breaths. That also helps to relax the nervous system and stimulate the digestive system. Letting the shoulders rest down and away from your neck. Abdominal breaths are inhaling slowly to gently expand your belly. And exhaling slowly to soften your belly. letting it gently hollow towards the spine. You might find it helpful to count the length of your breath. So inhaling, you might count to 5. But exhaling, you might count to 7. Another technique to help relax the nervous system, taking longer exhalations than inhalations. Now, if your body feels completely at rest in this position, then you may just want to stay here for Shavasana. Otherwise, be very gentle in how you transition into your corpse pose. Perhaps you use props to support your body as you come to lie down. And finding your position of complete rest. Allow your breath to be free, flowing, no longer controlling it. Allow your body to be free from moving and flowing. And allow yourself to rest. Observe within this stillness. Before we begin meditation, for those of you that are staying for it, I remember a saying by Sharon Salzberg, meditation teacher, that those moments during meditation when you catch your attention having wandered out of the present and you reel your attention back in to your anchor, whether it's your breath or a mantra or whatever you're choosing to ground yourself with, those moments of catching your attention and beginning again our golden nuggets, our golden moments. And instead of having some kind of judgment about ourselves for those moments of wandering off, instead celebrate that we brought ourselves back. So there's something to perhaps bring into your meditation practice. And if you'd like to join me sitting, please move your body, gently stretching, maybe turning over to one side so that you can find a comfortable seat. I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes. attention back to your body. I invite you to palms to meet at your heart. As we cultivate this tapas, this fire of discipline, it's important to remember our why behind that. Close this practice with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.